Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.
Y'all ready for this?
Welcome back to 30 Teams in 30 Days. This is day 16, and we're going to be going to the West, talk about the Los Angeles or Anaheim or Los Angeles, Angels of Anaheim, whoever you refer to them as. We're talking about the Angels. Now, in 2025, the record was 72-90. They missed the playoffs. They were nowhere close. They were 18 games out. And in fact, their best record overall was 28 games. So they were closer to the playoffs than beating their all-time best record. I guess that's one way to put a silver lining on it. As we go to the offensive stats, this team was once led by Mr. Mike Trout. We know that he was the kid, the face of baseball, and we'll get to more of that in just a second. And then, of course, once Shohei came, he took over that mantle. And then after he left, it was kind of up for grabs. I mean, it could be youngsters, could be Trout if he could stay on the field. But now, 2025, Mike Trout is involved a little bit, but there are some youngsters who are taking it over. It is going to be important to keep these guys' names in mind because they are great. I love Zach Neto. I love Nolan Schanuel. I love Logan O'Hoppe. Zach Neto led the team in stolen bases, while Mr. Nolan Schanuel led the team in average. And then Joe Adell, the same Joe Adell that was such a big name a few years ago, finally broke out. We'll talk about him in a second. He led the team with 37 home runs, beat Taylor Ward by 1, and also led the team in slugging. But that's about as much as the rookies, or not rookies, but the youngsters got. The next youngest guy was Luis Rengifo. He did lead in triples, but you had to bet that Mike Trout was going to lead in something. He led in walks and strikeouts, OPS and OPB, while my boy Taylor Ward led in everything else. Ratios, stats as far as runs, hits, all that good stuff. Again, 1 home run short of leading that. So, my man, I love me some Taylor Ward, man. But let's go ahead and talk about Mike Trout. This really was a bounce back year. I know I've used that term several times for a few guys these past few weeks. But man, he really had a good season in 2025. It was quite sneaky. He was actually able to play in 135 games this year. That is with a month being on the IL. So that's phenomenal. Only missed, 30 some odd games, not even that. That was the most games he played in since 2019. Another positive stat is that his walks went up to one of his highest numbers since, again, 2019. He had 87 walks. As if 2019 didn't seem like a banner year for him, he also hit 26 home runs, which was his 3rd highest since, of course, 2019. Now, I'm not talking him up to say he's a top 5 pick or, a top 2 or 3 round pick. I'm not, so please don't hear me saying that. But it's nice to see him having some positive regression. He's able to hit in the top half of that lineup, which I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. There's enough firepower. There's definitely not a whole lot in this lineup, but enough that he can be dangerous. Now, talking about someone who had a good 2025 after some subpar season before that, Joe Adell finally broke out, if you will. He was able to just go on a heater. He was able to pop out 37 home runs. Wow, holy cow. He also did provide 98 RBIs. He definitely helped in those 72 games the Angels won. He was a huge contributor. Now, as much as I want to talk him up, now let's talk him down so you don't get your hopes up too high. He did strike out 157 times, which, again, as a Yankees fan, I've seen 200 plus whiffs, so not immune to that. But he only did walk 33 times, so that's a pair of numbers the Angels would like to be inversed a little bit, but he's still got time. He's only 26. Now, the 20s are going to be what a lot of these players we're going to talk about are in right now, and that's huge for them and for the Angels organization if they can retain them. Transition to another guy in their mid-20s, Nolan Schanuel. I really like him. He is a contact hitter. He is going to do everything he can to get the bat on the ball and be a productive out if he doesn't get on base. He will continue to hit for average, a decent average, nothing sexy, 250, 260. Depending on if some balls drop in the outfield, it could get a little higher than that. But he definitely did a good job at the plate, reinforcing his eye. While strikeouts went down, batting average went up, other categories fell. The counting stats weren't as sexy when it came to the walks, when it came to the RBI, came to the home runs. But progress is progress, right? We have to take the good with the bad, and eventually it'll all come around. The contact will eventually continue, and he'll go over the wall a few times, right? A favorite player on this Angels team is Zach Neto, mainly because I was able to trade for him, and he is a 21st round keeper for me. He's going in like round 6 or 7, so I'm super excited. But I am looking forward to his 2026 because he started 2025 injured. He started the season on the IL, so he was at a disadvantage, had to ramp up during the year, and in 25 less games, he still saw career highs. I know it's only been like 3 years, but still saw career highs in runs, home runs, and caught stealing. So like the fewer times he caught stealing. That's showing he's got the power back, he's got the mobility back, and he's got the speed back. So there's nothing to worry about with him, right? He's pretty much back, right? Woo! Back and better than ever, baby. I hope he gets a little more help though, because last time they said someone was really good at doing stuff even when he was hurt, that was Mike Trout, and look where that got him. Speaking of getting help, the following guys we're going to talk about did nothing to be of help to their team this year. Luis Rengifo, very interesting 22 and 23 double-digit home runs, was making things happen on the base pass, and was someone I was super interested in because he had super utility, second, third, like short, there's outfield. But that super utility really hurt him in the long run because he was good everywhere but not great any one place. So they were more apt to try to move him place to place and get someone more stable at the position. And this really led to him fizzling out. Of course, injuries didn't help. He'll be taking his talents to Milwaukee this upcoming season. The Brewers have a pretty good team, so I don't know where he's going to fit in. Probably doing super utility thing again. Next guy we're talking about is Jorge Soler. He was supposed to be the power, the hammer coming to the Angels organization. Well, he only played in 82 games. He did hit 12 home runs, so that's 1 every 7 game, but buddy, you got to play. 82 games ain't going to cut it. Same for Yohan Moncada. Also had 7 home runs and also only played in 84 games. So that's, again, 7 games, then you get a home run. But if you're not playing in that many games, it doesn't matter if you hit home run every single game. Okay, if you hit 1 for 82 straight games, that's pretty good. I take that back. And the last guy we're going to go in depth with on offense is going to be one of my favorite catchers, Logan O'Hoppe. I know we diss on him a lot with this pop time. We'll get to that in a second. But offensively, he really fell. He played in 119 games, which was less than when he played in last year. But the home runs stayed about the same. He hit 20 last year, he hit 19 this year. The runs fell by more than a half, 20 plus less RBIs. The walks went down. Average dropped by like 25 points down to 219. So you're telling me he got better with the pop time, right? Well, a little bit. Go back to 2023, his pop time was 2.09. That's not good. 2024 was 2.02. That is much better. Okay, much better is the much is unnecessary, but he was better. And then in 2025, they said it was 2.0 flat. So that is improvement. You are getting closer to the sub 2. Now, that was his average. The fastest pop time he had to catch base stealers was 1.96. So, again, that's good. Speaking of stolen base attempts, in 2024, there were 85 attempts on him. He was able to throw out 18. About 21%. The number did go down in 2025. Only 60 base stealers. He caught 8. So, that's about, I think it's 13%. So, there was a fall. But you have to take that into account. There were 25 less people trying to steal on him. He also only did play in 119 games, so that could be a reason why there weren't another 25 people trying to steal on him. There's one silver lining in this. He did make 1 less error behind the plate. So he went from 6 and 24 to 5 and 25. As we get to this pitching rotation, they were not good. Really had to look for the silver lining here, and I don't even know if it was silver. It's more of a gray lining because it's like overcast and cloudy and you know, not pretty, dreary. So let's go ahead and get to it. As a collective, they had 49 quality starts, which is really good because I did not see that. Only one of them had double-digit wins, and they had 10 wins, so you barely got there. There were 4 guys with double-digit losses. 3 of them had 11 losses. Yikes. Holy cow. Let's go ahead and focus on the 5 main guys who started the most games. They all started at least 23 games, and 4 of them had ERAs between 4.24 and 6.6. Yusei Kikuchi's the only one that had a below 4 ERA, and it was 3.99. So it was real close anyway. Now moving on to whip for those same 5 guys. 4 of them had whips between 1.4 and 1.75. There was one guy, Hendricks, who had 1.28. So again, just barely missing out. If you're curious like I was and want to see how many runs they gave up to have ERAs that high as a collective, there were 4 out of the 5 that gave up between 79 and 87 earned runs. Lord. 3 of those guys had like 160 plus innings, so they qualified. But some of these guys had like 120, 130 innings. You have 70 to 80 earned runs. Lord have mercy. Now, as we move on to the bullpen, the transition was not much better. There were 3 guys with double-digit holds. Well, guess what? They all had ERAs between 3.3 and 4.7. Good God, 4.7? You're a setup man? That's worse than Jordan. No, it's not worse than Jordan Romano. He had an 8.23 ERA. Good gosh, man. Was there any silver lining to this? Was there any positive? Yes. Kenley Jansen, the old guy who had a heart arrhythmia, who had to sit out pitching for the Dodgers, and so they had him go somewhere else. That guy. Yeah, he had 29 saves, a 2.54 ERA, and a .95 whip. He's the man, and he's no longer in Los Angeles. Let's move on to the prospects. Tyler Bremner is the only prospect in the top 100 for the Angels. He's number 81. He is a right-handed pitcher with a good 3-pitch mix, but has arguably the best changeup in the entire class. So that's pretty big praise. He does not quite have the durability yet because he's working as a swing man. So that is the biggest concern for them. They want to know if he's able to take on a full workload as a starting pitcher at major league level. But they're super excited to get him up. So you'll probably see him with a cup of coffee or at least a thermos of coffee in the major leagues this year because this rotation is bad. As we get to the arrivals and departures, several of each. Big names on both sides, but we would have had to be like 8 years ago for these big names to really matter. Let's go ahead and get to the departures. Kenley Jansen, that's a huge one. Taylor Ward, that's an even bigger one. He's going to miss the likes of late night Lamont Wade, who was doing good a few years ago with the Walks, but has since just fallen off the face of the planet. Tim Anderson, huge one-hit wonder. And then Luis Rengifo, who, again, had his bat fall off, but he was still kind of fast. As we get to the rivals, holy cow, there were so many. They did try to fortify outfield and infield and pitcher and bullpen, but again, man, these are some older fellas. They're not sexy anymore. For the bullpen, they brought in Drew Pomeranz. Those are brought in Jordan Romano with the 8.23 ERA. Those are brought in Jose Siri and Josh Lowe. Those are brought in pitcher Grayson Rodriguez in the trade for Taylor Ward. That is not an equal trade. Not at all. But that's what you get. And then they signed Alek Manoah, the Blue Jays pitcher from a few years ago who was taunting all the teams, including the Yankees, and then he gained a ton of weight and couldn't find the strike zone the next year in baseball. Yeah, that guy. As we go on to the fantasy assets, not a whole lot. Logan Shaw Newell and Zach Neto in all leagues. I think in deeper leagues, you can look at Josh Lowe. You can look at Mike Trout. You can look at Jorge Soler. I don't know if they're going to do a whole lot for you. And then even deeper leagues, Logan O'Hoppe or dynasty leagues, he's going to be your guy. Pitching-wise, maybe Kikuchi in deep leagues or streaming or desperate. Maybe Grayson Rodriguez if he's healthy. Super deep and super desperate. You can pick up Kirby Yates for a closer, but don't expect a ton of production from him. And he's 39. So that could go south very quickly. Now to my bold predictions. I am a firm believer that my boy Neto is going to have a 30-30 season. I mean, he had 26 and 31 last year, so why not have a 30-30 season? I also think that Mike Trout is going to play in 135 games again and have 25 home runs. He had 26 or 28 last year, so see if we can keep that momentum going, right? And then I believe that Kirby Yates is going to have 25 saves. Last year, Kenley Jansen had 29, so going off, not being super bold, but trying to be confident because, again, this pitching rotation, not sexy. Not at all. That's going to do it for day 16. We're going to be talking about the Athletics tomorrow, one of my favorite teams, mainly because of Josh Donaldson and Yoenis Cespedes. I'm excited to talk about them. I'm going to be looking forward to talking about them because, again, they're my boys. They're my underdog team. In any case, this is JK Carroll. Thank you for sharing part of your day with me.